Good morning, Guyana. Welcome back to Soul Boost. So, this is our mid month check on our resolution. So, for Soul Boost, the resolution that we had was to focus more on God, to see how that would shift our world. So, would love to hear your feedback. Let us know how you're doing with the resolution, and hope your personal resolutions are going well as well. So, today our topic is going to be about being awake. And when we think about being awake, we don't necessarily think, oh, well, what does that really look like spiritually? We only think about it physically. Either we're sleeping at night or we're awake in the morning and we have to do our things. But when we're talking about being awake spiritually, what does that look like? So we're going to explore that today. And the first thing that came to mind was how when we drive, and some of us drive the same roads day in, day out, have you noticed that sometimes you forget how you got from point A to point B? This could be 10, 20, 30 miles, and you have no recollection of how you got there. And it's not that you were sleeping, but you weren't aware. You weren't awake fully. It's called highway hypnosis. And I remember the first time that happened, I was like, oh my gosh, anything could have happened from point A to point B before I woke up. And we just go through life in kind of a hypnosis mode. We don't know how 10, 20, 30, 40 years go by, and we're like, what happened to our lives? So today in our meditation, we're going to kind of just check in to see where we are. Are we walking through life asleep spiritually, or are we awake? And how do we check that? So one of the first things that I observed was when you are spiritually sleeping, you will feel a lot of sorrow. And it's kind of like if you fall asleep at the wheel in a car, right? You'll get into an accident and then you wake up really quickly. But spiritually speaking, when we're asleep, the ego takes over and we have no idea what's going on. We know that there's a lot of sadness. There could be a lot of emotional issues. There could be physical pain, financial pain, but we have no idea how that happened. So today we're going to look at when we're spiritually awake, what's the difference between that and being asleep while we're walking and moving around. So let's take a moment and take a breath. And take a deep breath. Inhale and then exhale. And just check in with your body to see if it's relaxed. Are you holding any tension in your neck, in your shoulders? Take another deep breath. Let it out. Is your feet flat on the ground? Are you sitting up straight? And then just gently bring your awareness to the center of your forehead, right behind the eyes. and just become aware of this tiny point of light, the soul, the spiritual being within this body. And just ask yourself, am I awake? Is the soul awake? And to really understand this, just check into your memory. What do I see? Is there a lot of peace and happiness and joy? Or is there a lot of sorrow and sadness and suffering? And we're not judging the scenes or the situations. We're just taking an inventory. We're just investigating to understand if we've been truly awake in our life. Is the spiritual being within all of us in control? Or is the ego just distracting us from our true purpose and our true identity? Are we getting lost in what people say and do? Are we getting lost in the material world? Or are we fully awake to the real I, that spiritual being, the soul, who is completely full, that needs nothing and wants nothing from anyone? Just check in with yourself to see where the soul is. And once you become aware, it's so much easier to stay awake, to observe when you're slipping from that eternal being to that limited body and awareness. So throughout the day today, just keep checking in, because this checking will help us to connect to a higher source, that unlimited source. When we can connect to the Supreme Soul, God, then we can truly, fully awaken. And this connection allows the soul to just regain all its power that it has lost by being asleep, by being unconscious, and focusing on all the limited things. So keep checking and keep changing, and then allow your awareness to stay awake. So you can fully experience this beautiful gift of a life and enjoy it in full happiness. So bring your awareness slowly back into this room, into this body. And just keep checking in with yourself from time to time. And check that level of happiness. It's a good indicator on whether you're awake or asleep. So thank you for joining us. We look forward to see you again tomorrow. Om Shanti.